Dale Holiness. Thank you, sir, for your service to this community.
Well, good afternoon. I think I'm going to take less time than the introduction, huh? But thank you, Anthea, for saying all those great things. Good afternoon. Happy Electrician Day. And so it shall be from here on out, right? Yes. We'll make sure every year we do this. Are we going to do this every year? Yes. So let me tell you one of the great things that you've done. You've come together as a brotherhood, sisterhood. You've joined together. And when you join forces, you become quite more powerful than when you try to stand alone. And it is essential that you do this and you build on this, that you don't stop here, but you look to see how you can do more together. Because the more you do together, the stronger each of you become. And I know that you compete for jobs, but you don't have to hurt and destroy each other in the process. You don't have to not talk to each other in the process. Right? Right. Yeah, clap. Makes sense. So we know that, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, because you're going to need to do what I'm talking about here in terms of coming together more than you have in the past. So we know that electricity is critical to our lives, and it has transformed the world. We've turned night into day with electricity, right? I mean, can you imagine that? Can you imagine being around 300, 400 years ago? Compared to now, if somebody come back, they would wonder if they went to space or something like that. They don't think they would be in this world. So that's a great thing. You think about how it has enhanced the quality of life that we have. Your refrigerator. Can you live without that today? Electricity. Cars are now being made electric. There's so much going on in the field. You are a critical part of the quality of life that people enjoy. But you have to make a living also. And it's critical that you do what you can to get there. So let me give you a little bit of update. Anthea pointed out that we're now at about 22% or so, going towards 25%. In terms of contracting with our small business, minority, women-owned businesses. And I've been at the forefront of that. In fact, my colleagues now compliment me and being out there, standing up for small business, making sure that they get a fair shake, changing the policies that exist so that we don't have contracts that are too big for you to participate in. And guess what? When we do that, we save taxpayers money because it becomes more competitive. And that pass-through that goes to that huge prime doesn't have to occur. You're able to bid if we package these pieces smaller. So we now have a program where if it's $250,000 or less, once you're in the pool, you don't bid anymore. And the big guys can't bid against you. And we're using that throughout our system. For example, at the airport, cleaning services. When I got to the county, one company dominates, Sunshine Cleaning, because we didn't break the contracts up. Today we're breaking them up. We're going to break contracts up across. We're going to look to see how we can reduce bonding requirements, because that is essential for you to be competitive. We're going to look to see how we can make it easier for you to bid and compete, but also to join with other entities like the school board, the hospital district, Broward College, and create a platform where you don't have to go over here, fill out an application, go over there, fill out another one, and over there another one. You need that time to go make some money. So that is something that I'm pushing our Office of Small Business and Economic Development to do. And Anthea, make sure everyone here has we have all the contacts for everyone here so we can put them in our databases. One of the things that I do each month is our small business workshop that I do once a month, where we bring small business in, talk about the opportunities that exist. Let me give you a couple of them that's coming up. The airport is under major expansion. We're the fastest growing large airport in the United States of America. 36 million passengers last year. And we are in the midst of doing a new master plan. to see how we can accommodate future growth. And we're going to grow. There's no doubt about it that we're going to grow. So we're going to be putting more than $2 billion in that future plan for the airport. That's a lot of money. The port is under redevelopment. We're deepening the port to 52 feet. We're adding new berths at the port for more ships to come in, so that those ships that are built now to traverse the Panama Canal, they call them post-Panamax vessels, because they're so huge and they displace so much water that they can be accommodated in the port. That's another $2.3 billion in development. Now, those two might not have a whole lot of electrician opportunities, the airport more so than the port, but there will be. We're building a convention center hotel, 800 room. It will be a 4-star Omni-Flag hotel. We're also going to expand the convention center by 500,000 square feet. That total project is $800 million. Anthea spoke to you about the penny tax. That will generate, over the next 30 years, $15.6 billion. Now, on the convention center hotel, I pushed for, and we got a 30% small business participation in that. That's huge. We've changed how we procure and look at our numbers in terms of goals that we set. Before every project, we had to set a new goal every time. Now we're set one flat goal, 25%. Makes it so that a prime contractor has to tell us why they can't do it. Get to 25%. And of course, there's the advantage that if they fulfill those goals, they get extra points for it. On the penny tax, I pushed for it. I actually proposed 30%. We got 30% on that. And I know that many of you might not be in that space, but understand that Broward County is going to be redeveloped also. Many of you probably do residential stuff. There's not going to be a whole lot more single-family houses built in Broward County. We don't have land for that. So what we're going to do, we're going to build higher and more density. So if you're not in that space, get ready, because that's where the money is going. Okay? That's where you have to go to. Which means that many of you are too small to compete. Let's be real, guys. It's a fact. What you're going to have to do is joint venture. And many of you probably will need to come together and set aside your differences and make a larger, more competitive organization so you can compete against the major entities that are out there. And if you do that, you'll thrive. If you don't, you might not survive. That's the reality of life. You have to do more than many, and you have to strive for excellence. So having this event, make sure that when you leave here, you look to see who you have some compatibility with, who you can work with, how many of you can get together. And where there's a project, you put together a limited liability corporation, an LLC, join in several of you together to compete for the larger work. Anthea spoke earlier about Latin builders, the Latinos taking over. Anybody here member of the Minority Builders Coalition? Let me see your hand. Oh my God. 4 of you. So let me tell you a little story, the history of this. The Latin Builders was formed 6 months after Minority Builders in South Florida, 6 months later. Today, anybody here know who the Latin Builders are? Huh? Okay. They control the construction work. I know that Eric knows who Latin Builders are, don't you? Do they control the construction business in South Florida?
Yeah, in South Florida.
Yeah, they do. They control the construction business. You look across the board because they've united themselves and they've joined together to compete for jobs. But let me tell you something else that they do. If you're running for office and the Latin Builders host a fundraiser for you, you're gone clear. Yeah, they're going to bring some money to the table. They understand that they've got to put people in office who are looking out for their best interests. You might not like what I'm going to say, but let me tell you this. Some of you, if you give me $50, you think, oh God, I own him now. And yeah, you own me. You own me without giving me 10 cents. You do, because that's the profession I choose at this point in time in my life, to serve and to serve you. But you must understand that you've got to make those investments. You've got to invest in your trade. You got to invest in your skill development. You got to invest in technology. You've got to be the best. If you don't, you're going to be left behind. So if you're not a member of Minority Builders, God, it's only about $300. About $300 a year? That's an investment you must make. Because let me tell you something. There are probably 20 different companies here today. When a contract opportunity comes, do you think I'm going to call all 20 of you? It's crazy for me to try to do that. But if there's one place I can go to, that I can send that opportunity to, and all of you can collectively then participate, along with the other people in the different trades, the project managers, the drywall guys, everybody's in that same space. You can now go in and bid and know what's going on with it. So I encourage you all to join in and be a part of it. And don't tell me what they don't do and what they should do or shouldn't do. Go there and get it done. Don't find faults. Find solutions. Make it happen for you. And there's another thing you got to do. Everybody here register with Broward County as a county business enterprise. Let me see your hand if you register as a county business enterprise. So you have to do that also, because that's how you know about the bids that we have. They're sent out through BidSync. I met recently with the new CEO for Broward Health, and he understands the importance of doing business with small business. And he knows that they're not spending any money with black folks. And he wants to change that. But if you're not available somewhere for him to find you, how are you going to get that opportunity? Different entities are now using our CBE platform to find you. Not just what we put out, but what they have. With the penny tax, I'm pushing all our cities to have preferential program for small business, minority women-owned businesses. That's where they're going to draw from. They're not going to pull you out of the air. They don't know you're out there. So you got to be somewhere. So together, you can own the Electrician Day. Not just by calling it a day, but owning the trade. Thank you very much.